Good afternoon, cult members, and welcome to the Pop Culture Cult. This is Sean, and we're going to do something a little different. Instead of doing a reaction to a trailer that I've seen 6 times already today, we're going to do a little bit of breakdown on what we are seeing for the MCU and maybe some theories. Some different things. There's a couple things that are added into this trailer that I'm like, that could mean something. And there's one big thing that has kind of been hinted at a little bit. I think it's in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of watch along, and as we see something, we're going to stop and talk about it. So here we go. Here's our breakdown and theories of Marvel Studios' Avengers Endgame that came out today. Here we go. Start.
God, seems like 1,000 years ago. I fought my way out of that cave, became Iron Man. Realized I loved you.
I love that shot.
I know I said no more surprises, but I was really hoping to pull off one last
kind
one.
of a surprise. Okay, so let's stop there. In the previous trailers, we've had Tony doing the voiceover stuff, talking to Pepper. Actually, he's talking to his mask, leaving a message for Pepper. And there's been a lot of theories and a lot of speculation online from fans saying that this is a mirror to what happens to him in the cave where he builds the first Iron Man suit in the cave with spare parts, essentially. And so a lot of people have been saying that that's what they're going to do on the ship with Nebula. This really leans into that narrative, that concept of, I'm going to figure this out. I have one more surprise for you. I'm actually going to live even though we're out of water and food and we're almost out of oxygen. We're going to figure it out. And so that's a little bit different narrative than what we got in the previous one, which was Tony in like despair. So I find that very interesting. So let's continue on here. And the shot with Pepper with the helmet is, my hearts. All right, ready?
The world has changed. None of us can go back.
Nope. Okay, let's stop here.
All we can do.
Okay. So after I watched this a few times and after reading a little bit, everyone is convinced, and I might have to agree with them, that this is Katie Bishop from the Young Avengers. Now I'm going to get into this in a minute. I thought for a minute that maybe it was his daughter, and his daughter is maybe 3 or 4 in Age of Ultron. And so this girl is a teenager, so that it hasn't been 10 years since Age of Ultron, or in the real world or within the MCU timeline. Now, they do mess with the timeline sometimes, little changes here and there, little discrepancies and stuff like that, but this is too big of a discrepancy. So if you're going to introduce this character like this, and I have a ton of questions about what to do with this character. So we'll get into it in a minute. So let's continue on.
Do is our best, and sometimes the best that we can do is to start over.
I love that. Okay, so we get the kind of the story of Captain Rogers in the section. The black and white stuff from Winter Soldier and a couple different things with this voiceover. And the voiceover in this section is talking about, my first question is it Peggy Carter? And I'm trying to remember if Peggy had this speech somewhere, and I think she did, but it's not coming to my mind right away. But she says the world has changed. None of us can go back. All we can do is our best, and sometimes the best we could do is to start over. So kind of hinting at, we have to go back.
We have to go back!
We have to go back to the beginning. With this next section, I'm going to talk about a theory that I'm having, but with that voiceover there, adding the voiceover that we get from Tony in the first section, kind of doing how we got from the first Iron Man to his despair in the ship. There's all kinds of stuff going on here. So here's the next section. with Thor. Back to Thor 1.
I saw all these people die.
I keep telling everybody they should move on. Some do, but not us.
Okay, let's stop there. Okay, let's talk about the first three characters that we get mostly in black and white and with the red accents are Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor. Each of them also get a shot from their first movies. Important parts from their first movies. Tony escaping in the Iron Man 1 suit. Rogers as the skinny little boy wanting to be more. And Thor looking for the approval of Odin and his father. All of that is, again, hinting back at we have to go back to the beginning. We have to go back and try again from where we started. Now, we have seen and have heard rumors that time travel will be part of this story, that they will go back in time and redo some things to make sure Thanos doesn't get the stones. We've seen set photos of them with something on the back of their hand. Chris Evans is in the original Avengers Captain America outfit, and Tony's there too, and Scott Lang as Ant-Man. So we're getting all that stuff kind of hinting at maybe time travel. We're going to get time travel. It's going to happen. What time travel means, though, that is up in the gray zone and stuff. There's also a shot here at the end of this little section where Steve is talking to Natasha and Banner is listening. Natasha's hair is red. So multiple times in this trailer, her hair is different lengths and different colors. Again, maybe showing a jump in time from Infinity War, but also a jump in time within this movie. So let's see what's next.
Even if there's a small chance, we owe this.
I love this shot just because, yeah, Scott's looking at all the missing photos and posters and everything, but it's the house in the background. The trash hasn't been taken out in a really long time. All the vegetation is overgrown, showing that there's been a time jump from Infinity War, and it's also, maintenance on stuff isn't being kept up and that kind of thing. So again, adding a conversation of time.
We owe this.
I don't know what city this is, but that's a Quinjet.
To everyone who's not in this room, to try.
Okay, two things. This is the part where Natasha has her voiceover section. And she's saying, even if there's a small chance, we owe it to everyone in this room to try. So again, there's some big, crazy, bombastic plan to do something radical, and they're just going to give it a shot because it doesn't matter. It's already bad as it is. So if talking about time travel again, and they're having a hard time understanding time travel and getting their brain wrapped around it, Natasha's saying, if it's a small chance that it works, we have to try it because it can't get any worse than what it is right now. And this shot of Rocket riding War Machine like he did with Groot and with the gun, like, my hearts. But come on, again, that's like such a great shot. Okay, go on.
We will. Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Okay. We get Rogers. We get Barton, Hawkeye. We get Natasha. And we get Tony all saying whatever it takes. So all of them are reinforcing that they are having to do something unrealistic to them to bring everyone back. There's also some shots in here of Hawkeye running in a hall or something like that, where he's getting chased and he's firing at something. All of that is kind of adding to different ideas of what could actually happen. There's a big fight scene. You get Nebula. It looks like maybe on Titan having a big fight scene. You get that shot again with War Machine and Rocket with the gun. You get Hawkeye shooting at somebody. So there's some big fight scene that happens really early on. Whatever, I don't know if it's the same fight scene or if they kind of work from there. Now the big scene. Okay. Those have to be quantum suits, right? They're going into the quantum realm. They look a lot like the one that Dr. Pym has in Ant-Man and the Wasp. They're kind of the same style. War Machine, although, has the War Machine outfit on. Rhodey has the War Machine outfit on, but it has the same coloring and same kind of design as the quantum suits, which I'm calling the quantum suits. And we see Tony in the hangar. So this shot of the hangar that has been scrutinized by everyone, and how there's a gap in the group, and how there's one shot that's none of them are in it and the sun's in the same spot, but then next shot is all of them walking along with the sun in the same spot. So all of that kind of is leaning into they're going to try this big stupid thing. This next shot of the dust and everything coming back together to form the A is one of my favorite things of all of the marketing they've been doing so far. See, it's so cool. Dun, 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 dun. Hi.
I like this one.
Oh, it's so good. All right. Him calling back Stormbreaker is just so cool. And her hair moving. That's a special effect thing. It just was so cool. I love her smirk. Like the stare down and her smirking like, yeah, I can beat your ass. It's not a big deal. But I also like Thor recognizing that she actually is a very powerful person. And his saying, I like this one, is his acceptance of having her join the group, even though they don't know who she is. And post-credit scene from Captain Marvel, spoiler, she asks where Fury is, and so there's some questions there, but Thor's acceptance of her is really good. Now, I want to talk about a couple of the things that are in this trailer. Back to the Katie Bishop thing. She was a young Avenger. We also got Monica Rambeau in Captain Marvel and her daughter, and Monica's call sign was Photon, which was her daughter. Her daughter became Photon within the comic, and then that's for a little while was Captain Marvel and different things. She was also a young Avenger. So they're kind of maybe laying this groundwork for a buildup of the Young Avengers being the next group after the original Avengers. We have Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America all talking about their past and showing their past and how we have to go back to our past to start over again. If this is going to be the end of Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, and Robert Downey Jr. as those characters, you need to bring new characters in. If you have this transition starting with Phase 4, which we all want to be Fantastic Four and the X-Men, but if you do this setup of sprinkling in the Young Avengers in different parts of the end of Phase 3, then in Phase 5, you can have them full on and ready to go. So I find that very interesting as a concept. There's a ton in this trailer that gives us ideas and thoughts and stuff, but in the grand, super huge pan out scope of this trailer, they tell us nothing. We can speculate all we want, but for the grand scheme, there's nothing here that tells us what the actual story is going to be. I'm thinking that the story is going to be them time traveling back to try to stop Thanos or whoever from getting one or multiple of the stones. And you have somebody like Captain Marvel, who is going to be a good addition because she's powered by one of the stones, which means she could possibly break some of the stones where Thanos can't use them. So those are our thoughts on and a breakdown and theories on the Avengers Endgame trailer that just came out today. Let us know what you think, what theories you have, and is there anything else in this trailer that we skipped or missed, or an Easter egg that we missed? Let us know. Leave it in the comments. Like this video. Subscribe to the channel. Help us out on Patreon. And until next time, good afternoon, cult members.